Guys, life does not care whether you call yourself poor or wealthy, whether you say you're strong or you're weak, but life will eternally reward you with what you deem as true for yourself. And when you understand this super important concept of manifestation and energetic frequencies, that is when you can learn to master it and you can get life to work at your command. My name is Vanessa Samaina, and my goal for this video is for you to change the way that you see yourself forever. So the first and most important thing that I want you to understand is that you do not command for things to appear by words or just loud affirmations. I want you to remember what we just spoke about. To life, everything is equal. Nothing is good or bad. However, to society, the definition of what is positive and negative is a societal construct. And while a lot of manifestation gurus will claim that it's really important for you to speak your affirmations aloud in front of the mirror every single day, they'll tell you to write them down. This alone will actually never get you the results that you desire. Let me tell you why. Actually, this can be more destructive rather than help you to get to your goals, because the repetition of these affirmations can do more destruction than good. Getting life to work at your command is done in consciousness. Let me show you. Let's take the example of feeling insecure or less than someone around you. Maybe someone that you know has some amazing things that they have accomplished. Maybe they're super beautiful and intelligent, and you somehow feel inferior around them. Simply repeating affirmations to yourself like, I'm beautiful too, I'm successful too, that's not actually going to make those feelings that you still have that are subconsciously there go away. Because if you have low self-worth, then you are conscious of this negative sense of self even while you are repeating these affirmations. Therefore, what you're actually doing is not getting life to work at your command, but you're actually commanding yourself to continue to feel inferior, because this is what you're consciously still aware of even while you're repeating these empowering affirmations. And that is why simply repeating affirmations just doesn't work. To get life to work at your command, you have to develop your awareness of being. Your awareness of being is the door through which the manifestations of life pass in order to turn from an energetic frequency into an actual tangible experience. And I want for this video to change the way that you see yourself forever. I want for this video to remind you of how powerful that you truly are in creating your own reality and getting life to work at your command. You don't have to learn the newest, most groundbreaking manifestation techniques. You simply need to be reminded of some truths that you already know deep within yourself. But sometimes on this wild journey called life, we forget our superpowers. I want you to become aware that you are the conceiver. And I don't mean this in a weird woo-woo kind of way. I mean this in a sense of, as a human being, you are automatically a conceiver, whether you identify as male, female, or anything in between. And the conceiver is ever greater than their conceptions. However, I want you to know that you are always connected to your conceptions. Now bear with me. What this means is that as the conceiver, you always remain one with the conception. For example, before I became conscious of being a woman, first, I was conscious of the fact that I am, that I exist. After becoming conscious of being is when I became conscious of being a woman, identifying as a woman. Yet, as a conceiver, you always remain greater than your conception. In my case, the conception of being a woman, which means that as the conceiver, if you're always greater than your conceptions, this means that you form and create your conceptions at will, at your command. And at this very moment of time, you are drawing into your world that of which you are conscious of. So if you are completely dissatisfied with your current reality, it is time for us to look at your conceptions. Remember, you are the conceiver and you create your conceptions. And the only way to change your current reality is to take away attention from conception conceptions that you no longer desire to exist within your current life, and instead replace your current conceptions for the ones that you desire. And at this point, there's a really important fact that I want to highlight to you. It's going to be maybe hard for some of you to let go of, and that is the fact that you can only serve one master. And due to the reality that you can only serve one master, the natural consequence of this means that when you take your attention away from one state of consciousness and you place it onto another, that means that naturally the consciousness that you are now placing your attention onto is the one that will grow and that will live on. However, where you have taken your attention away from, that is where a death is going to occur. And I know this goes into the whole spiritual woo-woo realm, and that's also why so many people in spirituality or tarot, for example, the number 13 is the tarot card of death. That is why in historic and old spiritual texts, death is actually not a negative thing. It is a symbol of transformation. It is a symbol that something old that has served its purpose has come to an end in order for something new to be able to live on and to blossom. In this case, you are breathing life into the new reality that you desire while taking life force away from what you're tired of. Basically, the death of your old life and your old reality that doesn't serve you anymore. So basically, completely ignoring and removing attention from your old self, placing your attention only on what you desire is going to inevitably cause this death, this loss of your old life. And right now, you may be thinking to yourself, okay, but Vanessa, I have been focusing on finding love, but I'm still single. I've been focused on making money, but I'm still poor. Vanessa, I have been focused on trying to be healthier, but I'm still depressed and anxious and I don't know why. And the issue with this is that basically until you have learned how to get life to work at your command, you are asking the universe, God, your angels, whatever it is that you believe in, for something that does not exist. Let me explain this to you. To be conscious of being poor and asking to be rewarded with riches, praying to a higher force to finally find a soulmate or love, is to be rewarded with that which you are conscious of being, which is poor. And for manifestations to be successful, it has to be a claiming rather than a begging type of energy. So basically, if you are praying for wealth, you have to start focusing on the evidence of the things that you desire. Allow for me to demonstrate how this works. So you will be focusing on the evidence of your desires. And what this will naturally do is it will cause the end of the old you and it will put life force into the new you. So what this means is that you start to completely ignore any evidence of the old you, of anything that's not your desire. So if you desire wealth, you're going to completely ignore any kind of evidence of not being wealthy and instead focus on the things that do make you feel wealthy. For example, that you've got food, that you've got internet, that you've got clothes to wear, things like having gas in your car. Sure, you might not be driving your dream car yet, but you have a car that gets you from A to B, you've got gas, that is already wealth. The dream car will come. If you are currently lonely and what you desire is true love, Focus on the evidence of your desires. So that means already being loved, having friends, having family who already love you deeply, and put a stop to looking around and thinking to yourself, everyone has a spouse or a romantic partner, I'm the only one who doesn't. Completely bury her 6 feet under. And at this point, I want to say to you how important it is that you are actually completely 100% ready to leave the old you behind. Please ask yourself this right now. Am I ready? Am I truly ready to leave the old me behind? Because this is not a joke. All right, transforming your life comes with the very real consequence of ending who you used to be. If you are not ready to fully let go of your old identity, it will be worse to live in this limbo between the old and the new rather than to have completely remained the old you. So if you're going through phases of not knowing why you're crying, why you're overly emotional, why you can't focus, why every time you make a new connection, you get so anxiously attached to them, it may be because you, my beautiful soul, are right now in a in-between phase of your personal transformation. And it's time that you decide to either stay in the old you or take the step into the new you, but staying in this in-between phase is damaging. Remember, you cannot put new wine into old bottles or new patches onto old garments. That is, you cannot take with you the consciousness that you created your current reality with. You're going to have to completely leave that behind because all of your current beliefs and fears and anxieties are what are binding you to this current state of consciousness. So in order to let go of these limitations, you must be ready to move forward from everything that identifies you with who you are right here and right now. You now take your attention away from everything that is currently your problem or that you currently see as a limitation and focus on just being. So just saying and feeling that I am. And for the first part of your transformative journey and to learn how to command life to do whatever you want it to, do not try to condition your new awareness just yet. What you want to do is first create this completely blank slate of just being. Completely faceless, formless, and timeless. Because as the saying goes, it is impossible for the poor man to find wealth in this world, no matter how much he is surrounded by it, if he does not first declare himself to be wealthy. Because signs follow, they do not precede. To constantly complain and kick and scream about your current limitations or about the confines of poverty while still remaining poor in your subconscious is to play the fool's game. And by poor, I'm not just talking about money. I mean a poor mindset when it comes to your discipline, when it comes to your self-love, when it comes to the things that you will accept from other people, the way that others treat you. Changes cannot take place from that level of consciousness in your life, which is why you first have to elevate yourself and create the blank slate from which you can then transcend into your desired reality. And once you've been able to clear the slate and you're okay with moving on from your old self, you have to start to have faith. You have to start to internally claim your desired reality, for that is the only way that it will actually come into being. Remember, faith is the substance of the thing hoped for. Faith is the evidence of the things not yet seen. And you guys, there's this old tale that demonstrates really clearly how you can get life to work at your command. So basically, there was a widow, right? And a widow means, the husband has passed away. And the prophet that she went to said to her, "What is your issue? What are you going through?" And then the widow says, "Well, my issue is I only have 3 drops of oil." She didn't have anything else. And what the prophet then said to her was, "Go and borrow 3 barrels. And then I want you to go into your house. I want you to shut the door. And I want you to fill those 3 barrels with oil until they are completely completely full. So the widow went, she did as the prophet said. She had her 3 drops of oil, and from those 3 drops of oil, she completely filled all 3 of the barrels with oil left over. You are this widow. And you listening to this right now, you figuratively are this widow. You don't have a husband to impregnate you or to create fertile, fruitful soil upon which anything can be built, because the widow is symbolic of a barren state. But despite her being a widow and being in this barren state, what created everything and what was everything is her awareness. And the same goes for you. What is everything right now is your awareness. So instead of recognizing or feeling into the emptiness or the nothingness that was the 3 drops of oil, what she did is she turned something that seemed as though it was nothing into so much that there was actually even overflow. And notice how this happened was because the prophet commanded her to go within, to go to her house and shut the door. This is symbolic of shutting the door of any outside noise, because sometimes what is stopping you from getting life to work at your command is that there is too much noise around you. Too much noise from social media, too many naysayers, too many people where energetically you can just feel and sense they don't truly believe in you. And then what seemed like you only had 3 drops of oil outside, when you're surrounded by these energy vampires, once you retreat into your safe space, this can be your room, your apartment, your home, all of a sudden what seemed like just 3 drops of oil becomes absolutely everything that you could have ever hoped for and more. So what you've got to do is to shut out your senses of what is real and what isn't. Because every single day we wake up and we create our own real. When you take your attention away from lack completely, which can sometimes only be done when you're in private, because honestly, other people's energies can be contagious and kind of drag you down and make you see yourself in a smaller way. That is when you can focus on actually getting the things that you have to work at your command. And remember, lack of resources is what makes people resourceful. And I'm sure you too have a story to tell of when you lacked resources, you thought that you couldn't make it, but you still found a way to do it. For me, for example, starting my company, BoLife, all of the crystal jewelry, the decks, and so on, I literally had $300 to my name, so complete lack of resources to start a company with, but it made me resourceful. And from those $300, I then created a 7-figure business. You see what I'm saying here? We had 3 drops of oil, but we filled 3 barrels with it. This is really about you having an agreement within yourself that you're allowing for all the fears and lack to be passed away, to not be part of your existence and your reality anymore. You too will be able to have life work at your command and to have an abundance that even flows over. So in order to transcend your personal limitations that right now you're aware of, you completely take your attention and your awareness away from that which is providing evidence to your lack. And instead, then what you do is place your awareness on everything that shows you that actually you do live in abundance. Completely immerse yourself in the feeling of being that which you desire to be absolutely beautiful, to be successful, to be loved, to be mesmerizing, to be that person that everyone wants to work with. Do not speculate on how this will happen, because energetically, this will interfere with your results. Remember that faith is the evidence of things not yet seen. So you first have to be in complete belief that this is going to happen in order for it to transpire for you. Thank the universe, thank life, thank God, thank whoever it is that you need to in order to get yourself into this feeling and into this state of being of the thing that you desire so, so much. This is really about making a connection between your energy and your beliefs. So to dissolve a problem that now seems so real to you, what you've got to do is remove your energy and your attention from it completely. Take your attention away from feeling imprisoned. Take your attention away from from feeling like you have no control over your life, like you are bound to be alone, like you are bound to never be able to buy the things that you want to buy, like you are bound to living a life that is making you suffer. You were not put on this earth to suffer. The way that you can change the parts of your reality that you are not happy with is to change your consciousness. And that is something that so little people have learned how to do. But now it's time for you to give form to the new conception by feeling yourself to be that which you desire. Give form to the new conception by feeling yourself to be that which you desire. You truly have to feel like you are already that which you desire to be. Knowing and speaking to revalue yourself. Because chances are, you've placed too little value on yourself. Chances are your self-talk hasn't been that great. Because guess what? If your self-talk was amazing, you wouldn't be sitting here asking yourself how to will life to work at your command. I know a lot of these people who are super in love with themselves and like quote unquote narcissistic, who are famous, people say they're not good people, etc. Let's put aside the debate about whether they are good people or not, but do they have a lot of the things that you desire? Whether that be fame, whether that be money, whether that be freedom, whether that be a career that allows them to travel the world and do awesome creative things, whether that be spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, people who adore them. And what these people have in common is that they don't question whether they are deserving. They don't question whether this is meant to be their reality. To them, it just is. And this is your job right now to learn that it just is for you. It just is that you are free. You have to start to revalue yourself, put yourself as the center of your attention, and see yourself as powerful. Because if you do not see yourself as valuable or as powerful, other people will not be able to do it either. If you feel like you're mediocre, chances are your posture, the way that you speak, the way you look at people, the work that you put in is all going to confirm the consciousness that you are currently in of mediocrity. And then what is the world going to reflect back at you? Of course, a mediocre existence. So in order to be exceptional, you yourself have to believe that you're exceptional and then act like it. Behave as though you are exceptional before the evidence is clearly here that you desire. And notice how I said the evidence that you desire. There is already evidence here of you being exceptional. Like you being an exceptionally amazing friend who's always there for others. You being an exceptionally amazing cook. You being exceptionally good at being disciplined in some area of your life. Sure, maybe not every area of your life is reflecting that you are exceptional yet, but remember, focus on the evidence that you already have in order to create more evidence and the self-fulfilling prophecy that will get life to work completely at your command. And the beautiful thing about learning to get life to work at your command is that your awareness of being is the all. You can never be in want of proof. You can never feel in lack of the evidence that you are already successful if you believe yourself to be successful. You can never be in lack of the evidence that you are loved if you are already aware of being loved. And let's be real, all of us have some people who love us. Even if that's your mom, your best friend, don't take it for granted. That's the kind of love that can stay with you an entire lifetime. And romantic love is honestly overrated in so many ways, but that is a different topic for a different video. But with all this being true, why not become aware of the things that you felt like you were still in lack of? Why not remember that you are the conceiver and you create your conceptions? So why not now start to create the conception of, actually, I am in the best shape of my life. Actually, I I am already wealthy. Actually, this is the evidence that speaks to all of these areas of my life and how I'm already on my way there. Of course, you're still going to want to put in the work, the effort, the energy, and the time to ultimately achieve some of those greater goals. But in order to even be on your way there and to be inspired to take that action, you first have to believe. And remember, my gorgeous soul, every state that you have ever recognized, you have embodied. If you have recognized being heartbroken, in that moment, you embodied the heartbroken version of you. If you recognized being so happy for the fact that you passed that exam, you embodied the version of you who passed. If you recognized that eating healthy, not drinking alcohol, not going out so much has made you a better person, you have embodied that state of being at one point in time. It doesn't matter how often you have fallen off. It doesn't matter how often you have recognized each individual state. What matters is what you do with this knowledge now. And now that you know that every state of being that you recognize you embody, what states of being do you choose to recognize? And what states of being are you now going to choose to completely ignore? Because that which you are recognizing today, you are embodying and you are experiencing. So become so wildly enmeshed in the belief of the things that you aspire to be. Become so enmeshed in the belief that you are living this incredible life of your dreams. And with this memory restored, I promise you, bit by bit, you will start to turn more of what is yet to be seen into actual matter. Because all things in the multiverse are compelled to follow this universal law, which is your awareness of being. And now, my beautiful soul, through all that we have learned together within this video, the world is at your command. I love you all so much, and I'll catch you in the next video.